There's really only one thing that they have to do, and this is something that's so easy to understand. It's just hard to do, and then you got to write a great sample work, a feature-length screenplay. You're better off writing that than an episode of a show that you want to audition for. That's just not how they hire. But if somebody really read your a good if you wrote a really great screenplay and you got an agent to take that on, that agent might be able to show that to an ongoing cable show, for example, and get you a slot on staff. But what you have to do is, wherever you are, write. They talk about the old days in Paris, the cafe scene and all of that, Paris in the 20s, like Woody Allen's movie about it. The people who are actually there say, we never saw Hemingway, because Hemingway was always upstairs working. You gotta write. And that's all you have to do. That's enough to do. That is a big challenge. And what you write, whatever that first sentence is on that screenplay, it should make the reader curious to read the next sentence and to get down to the bottom of the page. And the reader should be curious at the bottom of the page, should actually want to turn the page to see what happens after that. If that happens, it's rare. Most stuff is pretty poor. It's hard to do that. Much more so to keep that up for 100 pages, the length of a feature-length screenplay. It's only about the writing. That's all it's about. Screenwriting is not about the movie business. The movie business is about screenwriting. And they understand it now because they understand the preeminence of story. When they talk about content, they talk about story. And the writer has become finally the most important person and recognized as such because the writer is also now producing. My old classmate, George Lucas, after the first Star Wars, is it the fourth Star Wars? I can't keep up with it, but the one that was produced in 1977, he quit the Writers Guild after that and the Directors Guild and took no more writing credits for a quarter of a century or directing credits. So he lost his influence hardly. Who has more influence on the planet than George Lucas? No, he was the producer, and he showed that it's really the producer who's the power. So the power today is in writers because they're all so producing. David Chase, Vince Gilligan, David Simon, Shonda Rhimes. That's all you have to do. You have to write a really, really good script. You can't just write something and throw it off half-cocked. In my screenwriting book, I quote a letter from a prisoner that I got, in which he sent me. I got a lot of prisoners write to me, and this guy turned out to be a very, very good writer, just a fabulous writer, actually. And when he wrote a query letter asking if he could show me a script, the first thing he said was that the script he wanted to show me was the fourth one that he had written. So he's got, you need a few scripts to throw away just to find your voice, to find your methodology, the way you work. It takes time, and that's what defeats people. Screenplays aren't really, they don't fail. Careers don't fail. They are abandoned. It has been said. People just kind of give up. Clint Eastwood made a movie. He directed. He didn't write it. David Webb Peoples wrote it. It won the Oscar for Best Picture and Best Screenplay that year. Unforgiven. Peoples had that script hanging around for 20 years. Clint made another movie, In the Line of Fire, about the Secret Service guy takes the bullet for the president. That was another script that had been hanging around for 15 years. The writer of that script was packing his bags and heading back to New Hampshire when the phone rang in the house and they called him in, and it was El Malpaso at Warner Brothers, Clint's company, saying that they were going to move ahead on that script. So the only thing that you know is you never know. Socrates said that, years ago, the true wisdom is knowing that you just don't know.